I'm not licensed. I just have a bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
But it does open up a ridiculous amount of new avenues for me. So I actually am, as sad as it is for me to say, I've started getting ready to find a new job.
Nice.
I mean, it's exciting. Don't get me wrong. It's I'm just sad because I really, really love where I work, but I also know that I still have plans to go to graduate school. Not right away, but when it's time, I can't pay for graduate school making $12 an hour.
No.
And my husband made a very good point to me. He was like, you're going to spend all that money and all that time and literally all that stress not to do something with your bachelor's degree. And like I've had like 3 different supervisors tell me that it would be a huge waste of time if I didn't like pursue something more because yeah, you get what I'm trying to say. So I've already started
I kind of agree with it.
And I mean, it was kind of a hard pill for me to swallow, but I can't deny that I can't put myself in all that debt just to keep working where I'm at. Even if I love it as much as I do need to go start using my skills and my talents and all my education and start actually doing what I have been talking about for years about doing.
Well, and here's the difference. This is why I'm technically in agreement here, is because I tend to be a person who thinks that experience is king, especially in the professions that I have picked. Experience is king. It's great and all to have a college education, but it doesn't necessarily mean you'll be successful. But you're in a career that aspects like practicum happen regularly for you.
Yeah.
You're going to be put into an environment where you can learn. And so at that point, I would tend to agree on that. If you were doing, say, this is a poor example, but if you were going into like a research position or something like that, I would probably say it would be a good idea to get some experience out in the field and then start pursuing it. Just because you could not only get some solid cash to be able to pay off some debt, but at the same time, you've got experience now that potential employers can rely on.
Yeah, I have to. The first thing I'm still working on, and the first thing I'm working on is like building my resume back up, like building my resume from the ground up, because like the one that I most recently have is from 2017, and I'm like, ooh, wow. I took a look at it and I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to rebuild my resume, and my references are super out of date. So tomorrow I'm going to ask a couple of my supervisors if I may use them as references because especially for anybody who's currently looking for a job or who will be looking for a job, always make sure that your references, like get your references permission to use them as a reference. Nothing is more awkward than receiving a call because they're doing a reference check, and I'm like, oh, okay. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, why did they choose me to be a reference? And
yeah. I've personally had this happen where a friend of mine put me on as a reference and as a coworker reference, but technically him and me never worked a job together.
Yeah, that's super inappropriate.
I had to be the unfortunate dude that had to be honest with the guy and say, like, well, I know him, but I can't recommend him just because I've never worked with him.
I mean, like my best friend and I, we worked together as coworkers, and I eventually like kind of became a manager over her. But we use each other as references, but I mean, she asked me, may I use you as a reference? And I reciprocated the request because we both got laid off at the same time.
Yeah.
And so that way we both knew, like I knew she was looking for a job. So when I got the call, hey, I'm just doing a reference check. What can you tell me about this person? I was prepared. But if somebody's going to put me down as a reference and not ask me ahead of time, and then I get that call, it's like kind of blindsiding. And then it doesn't really prepare me because I'm like, well, now I have a negative.
I'm not aware.
Like I'm not aware. I wasn't aware of this, and now I don't really have anything good to say because I'm a little peeved off.
Yeah, exactly. Because at that point, you're more questioning. Like, you probably don't hate the friend for it, but you're like, you're asking me to commentate on an aspect of your life that I don't know anything about.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I don't have anything to say. So I'm gonna ask a couple of my supervisors tomorrow.
That's usually the best way to go about it.
Just so that way I can get revamp, like update my references, because my references definitely need to be updated as I start to revamp my resume. And then I have to like ask these individuals, can we please like not talk about it right now, just because I don't really want to like make it a huge deal.
No.
And I know that you all will support me no matter what I do, but I don't want to make it a huge deal. And we all are definitely very chatty, and I don't want our clients to find out that I'm starting to look for a new job. What I want to happen, and I know that we can all do this because we've had in team meetings, we've had to talk a lot about like, let's not talk about our coworkers' personal lives in front of clients.
Yes.
So I know that we can do this because we have gotten a lot better, but I'm just going to respectfully ask, hey, this is my final 2 weeks, but I would like to share with our clients that it like my last day is this day, but we're going to tell them on the actual last day at the very end of the workday. So right before we go taking them home on my very last day, like in our little carpet time, that's when I'm gonna unfortunately break the news to them. And I know it's a really, really crappy way of doing it.
But there's no good way.
But there's no good way of doing it, because if I were to tell them 2 weeks before it happens, that's all they're going to obsess about. And that's not healthy for them. So it's better. So it really is better for them if I tell them on my actual last day of work, right before they go home, hey, I will not be seeing you on Monday. This is my last day.
Yeah.
And that is going to, I don't even want to think about it, but I know that this is going to be good for me. And I know that if I do want to pursue my career in social work, I have to start doing something now. That is obviously going to pay a little bit more, but will challenge me and will like make me feel like I have achieved a level of accomplishment, because I have gained that experience through my education, and I have been in the field for 2 years. It's time for me to move on to something that is applicable, strongly more applicable to my degree. So,
and sorry, but this is the random thought that I was having while you were talking about this. It's just like, man, it sucks that he gets to do a paper resume. Just because, like, a lot of my work, paper resume doesn't mean shit.
No, I'm currently, my work approached me and offered me to become an ACRE certified job coach for people with disabilities. And one of my clients is a graphic designer, and I learned the hard way that a paper resume does not work.
Nope.
Oh man, that was not a fun encounter with an art director. But luckily, this individual is so talented that he was able to make a resume that proves that he is a talented young individual who deserves a very high-paying job.
Yeah.
So we were able to change and rectify that almost immediately.
So for him, like a portfolio would probably be a little bit more appropriate.
Yeah,
for me, it's a demo.
Yeah, he put together his portfolio. He actually put together a resume that shows off what his talents and abilities lie in and what his skills are, and everything just looks fantastic. So I would really like to help secure him a position before my last day. Because it would be
awesome.
Yeah, because it would really suck to have to. It would really, really, really suck if I left and he still hasn't found, or we still haven't found him anything.
Yes. That would absolutely suck. But that's the... Sorry for the random thought, but it's just like, it's so great that you get to do a paper resume, because I gotta do demos all the time.
No, it is,
like every 6 months I've gotta re-record a demo and just add in like more commercials and stuff like that I can do.
Yeah.
Or in some cases, like I really kind of hoped early on in what I was doing that I could use YouTube as a resume. And you really can't unless you are like indie director. So like James Rolfe could do that.
yeah, exactly. That
But
makes
me,
sense.
not so much. Like podcasts can be used as that, but most of the time it's like voiceover demos that I have to go and update all the time. And I mean, like I said, like, you can update your resume once every year, maybe 2 years, every 6 months, because people just want to know your range.
No, and I mean, we work in two very different industries, so it makes complete and total sense.
So that's why I'm saying it's like, oh, that sucks. I wish I could do that.
Yeah, but man, I do have to do a huge revamp because I got things on like my most current resume that are not going to be at all applicable to where I'm going into.
I will say this bottom line. It's great still that you're able to be in, like, a lot of people might take some of the advice that I've given as harsh, but I'm glad that you're able to be in a career where you can utilize your skills and, like, you will have the practicum available to be able to go and get even more.
Yeah, I'm really looking. We're actually so what I'm planning on doing. One of my husband's friends he's made through work knows a recruiter, and so he offered his services to us. And so once I get my resume all spruced up and put together, we're going to give it to this recruiter, and essentially he'll do the work for us because I kind of don't really know where to start. And additionally, being somebody who is still working on his mindset of changing the way that I look at myself and working on my self-esteem and still wrapping my mind around the fact that I'm a college graduate, I don't, like, my husband's already flat out said, you're already selling yourself short in some of the occupations that you've already looked at.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, I don't know what to do. Like, I really don't know where to start, where to look, because there's so many, oh my gosh, looking for a job sucks because there are so many different people who are like, we want you to have this education and these degrees, but then we expect you to already have like X number of years prior experience. And it's like, no, my X number of years of prior experience should come in my degree. Like, you can't ask for a degree and years of experience. You need to ask for either or. And so I'm like freaking out over this because I'm like, I want to apply to some of these different places, but it's like
well, and especially in some of those career choices, like, they won't take, because granted, I don't know if this is the same way in your field, but with Andrea, she had to do a lot of externships, so those weren't like non-paid internships. So at that point, she had to do a lot of those, and she couldn't use any of them when she applied to places, because that was where they had her going out to the hospitals and the care centers and all that. And I'm just like, well, why can't you use that on your resume? They don't count externships. It's like, oh, well, that's bullshit.
No, it really is. It's just all of that. It's just super ridiculous. So my husband was
because in my career, I can do that.
Oh yeah, easily. So my husband was like, we're just gonna have somebody else do the work, and I'm like, okay, that helps a lot.
Hi, Malphas.
Gotta pay attention, sweetheart.
Spoilers, kid. But you're nothing more than an empty shell with no power. You are as weak as your flesh.
So rude.
Hey, we're tougher than we look. But there's only one way to find out.
I will enjoy this.
Hi, boobs.
Whoa, that vibration. Hi, boobs. Oh, now we get to fight her. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, this is totally a Baba Yaga homage. Because, like, she's already like a witch with a cauldron, but then she also has the big bird legs.
Oh,
what did you just toss to me, V? What did you just toss to me?
Babysitting it for you.
Oh, come on. I saw it.
gotta use one of your arms.
Yeah, he just gave me one of the arms that I don't have on my roster right now. That's okay though. Thanks, V. I appreciate it.
Rise of the Tomb Raider did a Baba Yaga-esque
They did?
DLC, which I played when I purchased it for PS4, like the 20th anniversary edition.
Yes.
And it was good. It was a very awesome DLC.
Oh, it's a creepy DLC. I loved it.
I just loved how many times I bought Rise of the Tomb Raider. Like out of that trilogy, Rise definitely is my favorite.
Oh yeah, of the Tomb Raider trilogy that has just barely come out, Rise is my favorite. Shadow was good, but Shadow kind of undid a lot of what I liked about Rise, and I wasn't happy about that.
I was kind of hoping for a more darker, emotional story, and I feel like
Yeah, it really wasn't.
Like, I feel like they could have done a better job because they really, because in all the advertising, they really amped up the fact that, like, you are now becoming the Tomb Raider. This is where you make your stand. Yeah. You are defeating Trinity, and you're taking back what they, essentially what they took from you.
A lot of hardcore Tomb Raider fans were hoping that this would explain the devil-may-care, jaded attitude that Lara has always had in previous games. So, like, if you've seen the Angelina Jolie movies, that personality is better conveyed there.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people were hoping, well, this will explain, like, the dark shit she's seen to have this personality, and it didn't. It rewrote history for Lara, and in a bad way, in my opinion.
I mean, I like this new invention. I hope that they do another trilogy continuing with this specific Lara. I really would like to see where they go with her.
Yeah.
Like, I really, really, really would. And like you said at the beginning, it wasn't a bad game, and I really did like a lot of the new mechanics that they added in, and I really like what they built upon from Rise of the Tomb Raider. But story-wise, it did well in some areas and failed in others.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, bye, Malphas.
I know. I'm talking about like a lady crush, and completely ignoring the fact that this built-up baddie has been taken out by a human, no less.
Oh, poor V.
I guess
now get off my lawn, Nero.
Kiss. I'm just kidding. Don't kiss.
You should turn around. Your body's not gonna last much longer.
Hey, Nero, could you consider unzipping my pants?
Oh my gosh.
I cannot do. I must go.
Dude, you're literally crumbling.
Yeah, he is.
Don't push yourself. You need some rest. I must go to where Urizen is. Why? Why the hell do you beg you? This is my last request.
He has to merge with Urizen again.
Yeah, he does. We're probably gonna fight Virgil.
Definitely gonna beat us there.
I just want to see Virgil.
Oh, I think we'll see Virgil.
I really want to see Virgil. Oh yeah, he is out of it, and that's a creepy ass smile right there, V. That's gonna haunt my nightmares tonight.
Have fun.
Like, yeah, maybe I will unzip your pants.
You're getting some very solid A's right now.
Yes. I'm very happy with myself.
Diverging point, Dante!
Yes, so I think this is going to be the point where we make it to Urizen, and we will see what happens with V. I think that's pretty much the answer, though. V needs to get back to Urizen so they can merge back.
Yes, and then Dante and Virgil will just duke it out or something.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Meanwhile,
This one's gonna be a little too much for you.
all right, so I guess we're going to go do Dante's little gauntlet.
And then meet up with Nero and V.
Yes. Oh, bad
Man, what a
loading
day
bars.
they've had.
Okay, so mission 16, diverging point, Dante. We have lots of red orbs to use, so I'm gonna see if I can nuke out some features for Dante. Let's see, overdrive. Probably not. Swords formation. Ooh, yes. Let's do that. Thank you. Cavalier. Anything that we can get that would be... Ooh. You know what? I'm getting that too. That nuked out my red orbs, but I'm okay with it.
That is A-okay with me too. That looks
All right.
super awesome.